Hello everyone, welcome to video 12. So this video corresponds to lesson number 4 at level B2. We will be discussing future possibilities and hypothetical situations using conditionals. Today's competency is, at the end of the video, you will be able to discuss future possibilities and hypothetical situations using conditionals. So we'll be talking about future possibilities with conditionals. We'll be talking about plans, hypothetical situations, artificial intelligence and education, choices, solutions, and discussions. In this video, you will learn how to use modal verbs as part of this video, okay? You will be able to use conditionals to explore, for example, what would happen if AI became the main teacher in schools. So to begin with, remember, we are on level B2 now, artificial intelligence in education. You will be able to discuss complex topics and analyze in different perspectives. You will be able to discuss complex issues, analyze advantages and disadvantages, develop and defend arguments. So today you are going to learn how to discuss artificial intelligence and future possibilities with English conditionals. You probably use technology every day, but can you discuss hypothetical situations in English? What would happen, for example, if artificial intelligence became the main teacher in schools? Today we are going to practice exactly that. So let's begin. So artificial intelligence and education. What would happen if? Today's competency is discussing future possibilities in hypothetical situations using conditionals. Learning outcomes. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to discuss the impact of artificial intelligence on education at level B2. Use the first, second, and third conditional accurately. Express predictions, possibilities, and hypothetical situations, and support opinions about technology and learning. So let's share some key questions now, and I invite all of you, since you've got level B2, to share your comments in the chat right below this video. You can share your opinions or questions. So, how is artificial intelligence changing education? Another question that I have for you is, do you use artificial intelligence tools or tools that have been enhanced in such a way that they can foster learning in the classroom? Have you ever used ChatGPT? What for? Share your opinions. Can artificial intelligence help students learn English? Share your views. So you can pick up one of these questions and share your views right below the chat. By doing that and by encouraging to you and by uh, motivating yourself to use level B2, you will be able to use conditionals, phrases, expressions that actually target the specific level of English. So let's have a look at an introduction to artificial intelligence and conditionals. In English, there are 3 types of conditionals. The first conditional, we use the first conditional to talk about real useful. We use this structure if the present simple, will, and a verb in infinitive. For example, if students use artificial intelligence responsibly, they will learn more efficiently. If teachers integrate artificial intelligence effectively, classes will become more interactive. In English, you can also reverse these clauses. So you can say, students will learn more efficiently if they use artificial intelligence responsibly, or the other way around. So you can say, if schools invest in technology, students will have more learning opportunities. Or students will have more learning opportunities if schools invest in technology. Now let's practice. Let's complete these ideas. You can complete them in your copybooks, okay, and then ask for feedback if you've got a tutor, or you can do that with a colleague whose level of English is higher than yours, but then that could foster also peer feedback and correction. So if artificial intelligence becomes more accessible, if teachers receive proper training, if students use ChatGPT every day, all right. So you can share your views also in the chat box below this video, and I will be glad to read your comments and your views regarding these ideas. For example, if artificial intelligence becomes more accessible, people will have more information to knowledge and data. If teachers receive proper training, they will be able to make the right decisions when it comes to integrating technology in the classroom. If the students use ChatGPT every day, for example, their competences will decrease, their literacy competences will decrease, okay? These are just some examples. Now, so let's move on and continue with the second conditional in English. The second conditional is utilized and is implemented in order to share hypothetical situations, to talk about hypothetical ideas. We use if plus the past simple, the simple past, and would plus a verb. For example, if I were a school principal, I would introduce artificial intelligence literacy courses. Okay, so if I were in the past and I would introduce, if artificial intelligence replaced textbooks, learning would look very different. Okay, we are talking about hypothetical situations. Okay, it doesn't mean that we are talking about reality. We are supposing, we are imagining some situations. If every student had a personal artificial intelligence tutor, education would become more personalized. Had. So the key question here is, education would become more personalized. So does every student have a personal artificial intelligence tutor now? Not really. So education would become more personalized. It depends. We are just talking about hypothetical situations, and thus we use the second conditional. Now, discussion. Okay, and here you have two questions that I want you to share. We've all heard about the robot now that has been working for 24/7, okay, and that is not comparable to a human being, and that used to be a hypothetical situation, now could be a reality, but we don't know about the future of education. So what would you do if you had an artificial intelligence tutor available 24 hours a day? Would education improve if artificial intelligence replaced traditional homework? What do you think about this? Well, now let's move on with the third conditional. Past hypothetical situations, the opposite of what happened in the past. We use if plus the past perfect, would have, and the past participle form. If artificial intelligence had existed 30 years ago, education would have evolved differently. If I had had access to artificial intelligence when I was younger, I would have learned English faster. If schools had adopted artificial intelligence earlier, students might have developed different skills. So, did we have access to artificial intelligence 30 years ago? No. Did education evolve differently in the past? No, because we are just talking about the opposite of what happened in the past. And that's why we use the third conditional. If remember, we use the past perfect, okay, form. If artificial intelligence had existed, had access, had adopted, and the structure would have evolved, would have learned, might have developed. All right. So now, by doing this, you will be interacting and using B2 upper intermediate conditional expressions. So here you have a summary of the first conditional, the second conditional, and the third conditional. You've got examples that could be useful for you, and you have some useful models for discussions. Might be different, might have been different, could be different, could have been different, would be different, would have been different, should be different, should have been different, etc. And you have, of course, some examples that can help you improve your level of English and transition from level B1 to level B2. So here you have the two questions so you can practice. And the challenge now is speak for 1 minute answering the following question. You will have 60 seconds to answer this question, but your goal is to use at least one first conditional in your opinion, one second conditional, and one third conditional. So you can watch this video as many times as you want, plan what you will be saying, and then refer to this question. The question is, what would education look like if every student had an artificial intelligence tutor. Use at least one first conditional, one second conditional, and one third conditional, and of course, integrate the expressions from level B1. In my opinion, from this perspective, from an educational point of view, from an pedagogical point of view, try to integrate those expressions, and of course, make sure you use one first conditional, one second conditional, and one third conditional. Now you've got 60 seconds, okay? Of course, take time to plan, then you pause this video, and then you speak for 1 minute. Here we go. All right, time's up. So it's been a minute. If you've been able to keep on talking for 1 minute about the topic that was assigned, and you've been able to integrate the first conditional, the second conditional, the third conditional properly, then well done. Good job. Now, to sum up, here you've got different contexts in which you can use the first, second, and third conditional. For example, let's explore with conditionals. What would happen if artificial intelligence became the main teacher in schools? If AI becomes the main teacher, students will learn at their own pace. Teachers will have more time to support each other or each student. If artificial intelligence were the main teacher, lessons would be more interactive. Students would feel more motivated to participate. We would have access to amazing tools and resources. If artificial intelligence had been the main teacher earlier, we would have learned faster. We wouldn't have struggled so much with difficult subjects, and we would have had more time for creativity and real-life projects. So here you've got, of course, if you use the first conditional, you have the possible result. The possible result with second conditional, if artificial intelligence were the main teacher, schools would be more engaging and inclusive. In the first case, will be, okay, the result. And the possible result in the third example is, if artificial intelligence had been the main teacher, the student would have developed more skills for the future and would have been better prepared, for example. Okay, so having checked this, okay, and if you've liked this video in which we've revised the third, the second, and the first conditional, I invite you to like this video, subscribe, share the video, and join the upcoming live session soon, okay? You can watch this video as many times as you want. You can pause and you can challenge yourself to speak for 1 minute so you can reach level B2. And you can also, in this video, below this video, share your comments regarding these questions. Shortly, there will be a video devoted to the role of technology in language teaching and education. So thank you very much and see you in the next video. Bye.